Morning and welcome or welcome back to the Big Bear Yarns podcast, episode number 37. I'm Anna, the dyer behind Big Bear Yarns. I live in Essex in the UK with my cat, my 2 dogs and my sister. And this is my place on the internet where, like a podcast where I'll talk about everything I've been knitting and crocheting, reading, watching, dyeing, etc. So I'll just get started. I have 2 finished items this week. I have finished a pair of socks. They're almost a matching pair. If it wasn't for the cuff and the toe, you could be excused for thinking around like the heel and things that they were as matching pair like as you can get without measuring things out. But they're good enough for me. They're for me. These are socks number 52 for this year. They are knit in King Cole North in the colour Freya, which is, did I write the number down? No, I do have the ball, I've got this amount left. I did wind off a section which has gone into my granny scrap blanket, probably about like 6 grams. So these are colour Freya, which is 5402. I don't know why I'm showing you it. It never focuses. Don't bother. I pressed record and yeah, my microphone is on. So these are for me. They're knit on 2.5mm DPNs, cuff down 64 stitches. I do 20 rounds of a 2x2 rib and then just a pair of vanilla socks. I think I did 50 rounds for the leg and then a slip stitch, heel flap, a heel turn, and for the foot, I do 70 rounds, which includes the gusset decreases and then a toe. And I've got another finished item, which it is finished because all the crochet is done for it. However, I'm waiting for buttons to arrive, and I'll show you it again once the buttons arrive. But the buttons aren't due to arrive until the beginning, like either the beginning half of December, basically. So they'll be here before I have to gift this. They're handmade buttons. So I'll show you what I've done. And I'll show it to you again I'll show you once the buttons arrive, because I've ordered 2 sets of buttons from the same maker, but I'm not sure which ones I'll put on the cardigan, so I might ask you guys what you think. Doesn't mean I'll do what you guys think, but I will ask you anyway. So I finished the cardigan, which is a Christmas gift. So if you can see it very well here. The collar turned out really nice. I'm very impressed with myself about how well I guessed how much I could do of each thing, because I ended up with about 15 grams of yarn left from this. So I got it exactly as I wanted it. The person I've made this for is smaller than me, so it will fit them a lot more. The arms will be the right sort of length because I've got a much larger chest circumference than them. So when I wear it, it's sort of the sleeves start a bit later. But for them, it should fit them perfectly. And it will grow ever so slightly. So that's a whole like jumper, cardigan, sweater quantity of stashed yarn out. I'm wondering if next year I will do a bit of like a stash tour, like show you all the yarn I've got and then try and work through it, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. So they're the 2 finished items I have this week. I'm very proud of myself. I've actually finished a Christmas gift and it's not even December yet. I'm very, very impressed with myself. You have no idea. I'm going to just try and chuck this onto the table over there because there's nowhere to put it over here. It worked. Okay, so I'm going to tick off what I've spoken about because I am making notes. I'm trying to be a lot more organised. It's very unnatural for me, but I'm doing my best. Although I'm trying to be more organised, and I forgot to write down who I ordered the buttons from. So I want to say a name, but I'm not 100% sure, and I think I'll just, it's Magpie something. They make buttons. I bought them on their Etsy shop. Magpie, that's all I can remember. Okay, so let's go through. I've got a few socks in progress. I'll only show you the ones that I've actively been working on. So, oh yeah, so I've made some more progress on these socks. Oh, I do like them, they're for my mum. But I do want to keep them for myself, but I won't. Okay. Anyway, so I've done, this is a mini skein set, which is by me. I'll get one from here because otherwise I'm going to make a real mess of things trying to show you. So this is the mini skein set. You get 5. They're all unique. I didn't write anything down for these, so they are a one-off. Well, I've got 2 sets left. This is what they knit up like. The lighting is a bit warm today, but I think it's okay in here. I'm just doing 5 rounds of each colour. I'm doing the heel, I'm down to the heel, so I'm going to do the heel in the blue. That's really all I can say about it, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to continue just doing 5 rounds of each colour until I get to the toe, and then whatever colour I'm on, I can work out which colour it will be, but I can't bother at the moment. I'll just do the toe in that, and then what I might do is switch it, so I might start the second sock with the blue and then work backwards through it, so they are matching, but you know, not quite. That might be fun. I don't really do that very often. I normally do the matching 100%, but so then I'm onto the toe on the first sock of the Moorland colour, which is again my colour, which is not available in my shop at the moment. And I've been looking through my dye book to find the recipe for it. It seems like I didn't write it down, which is not something I do. If I felt like I did write it down, but I can't find it in my dye book. So I'm going to have another read through to see if I wrote it down in a slightly different location in the book. But otherwise I'll have to dye up something similar, because I can see what is in here. So I could, it won't be identical, but it would be very similar. I could do a very similar colour. Yeah, these are for my mum. I've done quite a long leg on these, so I've done 50 rounds for the leg, 20 for the cuff, a 2x2 rib. I do 60 rounds for my mum's foot, so I've probably got like 3 rounds before I'm at the toe. I'm using the Knit Pro Vings 2.5mm. finish the cuff on these ones. You can see, very pretty. Do love a sparkle yarn. Really love a sparkle yarn, especially if it's like a seasonal colour. So this is Yuletide by West Yorkshire Spinners in their signature 4-ply. Yeah, it's Yuletide, which is 1208. But they do put the names on the colours, so you can put in Yuletide. I don't know what I was saying there. Just ignore me. So these ones are for me. I'm going to do the heel and the toe in this Paint Box Yarns colourway, which is discontinued. Like I've said before, but if you haven't seen me talk about it before, I bought a ton of their solids paint box yarns like a year ago, 18 months ago. They had it reduced to like, I don't know, I think some of it was like £3 for 100 grams and things, so I just grabbed loads of them to use as contrast colours and things. Yeah, that's done, so I've just got to knit everything else. I'm going to do these reasonably long, so probably about like 50 rounds for the leg, I think. So these are driftwood. Oh, hold on, these stitches are very close to the end of the needle. There we go, it's a bit better. This colour is driftwood. It's my own hand dyed. I do have some of it left. I don't know if you probably can't see it. No, it's there. Which is actually, oh, I forgot to say, some of these colours, like this one, is currently on like a Black Friday sort of 25% off sale, which will just be automatically, there's no like code or anything, it's just a sale for quite a few of my yarns, not only of my brand new ones for Christmas and that, but lots of my yarns are currently in the 25% off sale. So if you want to grab something, get in now while it's money off for you. What am I saying about these ones? Oh no, hold on, the other ones, the Moorland, they're at the toe. They're at the toe. These ones are almost at the toe. That's what it is. These ones, I have a few rounds to go and then I'm at the toe. These are for my sister. They're the same as all the others. There's no point saying the same thing for all of them. They're all knit on 2.5mm DPNs. They're all cuffed down, 64 stitches, 20 rounds, 2x2 cuff. They all have a heel flap, a heel turn, and gusset, like decreases and things. My sister is the same size as my mum, so I'll be doing 60 rounds for her foot. And then the last pair of socks I've been working on are, I finished sock number 1, which I don't know if you can see it because it looks quite dark to me, but it's a dark brown, not black. And I'm on sock number 2. I've done the cuff, same cuff, 20 rounds, 2x2. Oh, I'm getting all tangled up here. So this is the Yarnsmiths Merino sock in the shade 2K080, which is just a dark brown. I'm not sure, it might be called chocolate brown. I'm more organised than I have been, but I'm not organised enough that I've actually written down the name of the yarn. I do like the Yarnsmiths Merino. It's very soft. My sister loves it too. She's wearing the socks in this yarn that I've knit her to death. So she's going to need a lot more. I do have quite a bit more, but I have been looking in the new year about buying some more. So that's all my socks I've been working on. I've got more socks on my needles, but I've done no work on them, so there's no point just showing you the same ones, showing you the same places there. That's just waste of all of our times. So, oh yeah, so I've got a new, as I finished one crochet cardigan, let me just move some things out of this basket because I've got quite a lot of yarn to show you at the end of the episode. So let me just move it. Here we go. So I'm crocheting my sister a cardigan for Christmas. Where's the hook? I don't need the hook. I've written it down, haven't I? Yeah. Okay. So I'm crocheting her a cardigan in this yarn, which is pretty true to colour. It's a peachy. It's like a peachy pink. More peachy, more like orangey peach than pinky peach, which is Baby Smiles by Patterns. Fairy Tale Fab 4-ply. It's 100% acrylic. I'll tell you the shade, but I'm not sure if it's still available because it was clearance when I bought it. It might have been clearance because they're not stocking it anymore, or because it's been discontinued. I'm not sure. So it's shade 01024. I bought this from Wool Warehouse. This has been in my stash. No, way longer than that. Let me think. Maybe 6 years. This has been sitting in my stash. I bought this years ago when I was still making things that I sold. So when I would make blankets and dog jumpers and all sorts of things like that, and I do markets and sell them in my shop. I bought some of this thinking, oh, I can make some lovely baby blankets, and I just didn't get around to it. I always have more plans than I have time for. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I always think I can do, but I think it's that I think things will be quicker than they are. So I always think I've got, oh yeah, I can do that. You always think you just do so much more than is actually physically possible. So I never got around to using it. And I want to get all the yarn that's been just sitting, waiting to be used out. So I've got quite a bit of it. This isn't even what I've got in the basket. I've got about 9 of these in the basket at the moment. They're 50 grams, I think. 50 grams, and I've got about 8 more over there, so I've got more than enough to do her cardigan. I'm basically doing her the same cardigan I did her for her birthday, but in 4-ply, and I'm thinking it's slightly less oversized, because the one she's got, she absolutely adores. She wears it most days. She's wearing it, especially around the house, or not at the moment because it's too cold and wet, so you have to wear a jacket, and you can't really, the arms are so like deep, you can't really wear a winter coat over it. So, but she wears it basically every day, and so I thought I'd make her one that's slightly less oversized. This is how far I've got. So if you've seen the previous ones I did during the summer, basically this is a 1-piece cardigan. You will start at one sleeve and you crochet the whole width of the sleeve. Basically it's a self-drafted pattern. I just chain to the width I want to be around the wrist. So to do that, you don't even have to do like a gauge swatch and things. Just chain, because it's a small chain. It's not like you'll be chaining 200. Chain a number and put your wrist through it and see if it is kind of how you want it. And this is kind of how I want it, because I will be doing on a smaller hook the cuff, which will cinch that in a bit. So do the width you want for the circumference you want for to go over your hand and your cuff, and then I use US crochet terms, so a row of double crochet and then increase 1 on either side. then another plain double crochet row, and then increase on either side. What you would do on one side you want to do on the other, because you're doing, remember, you're doing the whole sleeve in one go. So then you just will be working along, getting wider as you get to the upper arm. It doesn't have to be even, I'm intending it to be quite a bit deep, so I'll do about 15 inches of increasing, and then you get to the body, and then you just increase on both sides of the sleeve, so you get the front and the back at the same go. And I'll explain more as we go, as I increase, as I get to that part of the pattern. So then you just do the whole thing. You don't have to cut your yarn at any point until you finish the body of the jump of the cardigan. And then you just seam along the arm and down the side, and that's the only seaming you have to do. So I'm doing one of those. It is 4-ply, so it is taking some time. I'm using a 3mm hook. So I'm hoping to have the sleeve done, have finished the sleeve by next week. That's my intention. We'll see if that actually works out. So then, oh yeah, so we also have my mum's jumper, which, so late we've given it to her. So late. Ugh. So this is the body. Oh, God's sake. There we go. So this is the body of the jumper. I'm going to I'm going to ask my mum what she'd rather, because I'm thinking, depending on what she wants to wear underneath it, I don't know if she wants me to bring in the neckline at all, or leave it kind of like that, in which case I'll just use a crochet hook and do like a neat slip stitch to even the neckline out. I'm on the first sleeve still. I'm getting close to being done. I'm at about 13 inches in length. I want to get to 16 inches because there will be some growth when I block this. So I don't want to crochet it to the full length of the sleeve because then it'll be too long. And my mum is not, she hasn't got a large wing span or anything. So this is being knit in Drops Fiesta Unicolor, shade colour 13, which is Dark Ivy. I'm knitting it on 4mm circular needles. And then the only other thing I've been working on, which I do want to get done by the end of the month, and I should be able to because I'm at the really lovely part of this blanket now, where every single row is now getting shorter, and that makes that feels good. Oops, dropping things. So this will be one side of the blanket. So now I'm on the decreases, which means just the beginning. It's so simple. I can just, hello. Sorry, my dog's just sat up looking at me over the top of the dining room table. Are you okay, Odie? Come here. Come here. He was actually coming to me. Hey bear, you okay? He never comes when he's called. Ever. Unless you have treats. Yeah, so it's so easy. You just decrease, you just knit 2 together at the beginning of every row. So hopefully, I've got this amount left from the blanket, a crochet blanket I'm frogging. This yarn is kind of fine to do this with because it doesn't really get that kinky. Like, it's not really like noodled, has it? And I've got another ball over with my rest of my yarn. So that one should be done. That's for my nephew for next week. I'm really hoping, because I've got other things I need to get off my needles. So that's everything I've been working on. I was going to quickly go through what I've been listening to. I haven't been reading anything. I haven't read any physical books at all. I've just been listening to audiobooks, and I'm on a real... I'm just listening to a book after book after book at the moment. I'm going to run through all my credits probably by the end of, probably by the middle of December. So I've listened to, let me get it up. Do it on Amazon, that'd be the easiest to show. So, I've listened to, I finished it, Diabound by Sable Sorensen, which is, it's kind of described as like fourth wing, how do they describe it? Yeah, so perfect fans of Fourth Wing, Quicksilver, and The Hunger Games, with like a Game of Thrones type. I just really wobbled you, I apologise. So Fourth Wing, The Hunger Games, Game of Thrones, and that's it. Quicksilver. I don't really see the Quicksilver thing, because I've just listened to Quicksilver, which I will get to. So, Diabound, I really liked. It was everything that happens in the book, all the big twists, I guessed them well before they happened, which sometimes can make it boring, but I still enjoyed it a lot, and I will definitely be listening to the next one. I did enjoy that. I'd give it like 3.54 out of 5, I think. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away the twists, just in case other people listening to it don't guess them ahead of time. It was good. It's kind of, so basically it's, in this like fantasy land, part of the army are these elite soldiers who bond with dire wolves, the giant wolves from like Game of Thrones, but these ones are much bigger. They're big enough that like a fully grown human, can ride them into that battle, fighting against these siphons in another kingdom. And it kind of goes like this young woman whose sister is kidnapped, and she has to join the army to try and get her sister back, and then it goes on from there. It's good. I enjoyed it. I listened to it all the way through, so I did enjoy it. And then I listened, which I finished just this morning, Quicksilver. I did like. I did have some... Did I guess all the twists and turns? No. Some of them, yeah, but it was still a bit of a... some of the twists were still quite twisty, shall we say. There were a couple of things I really didn't like about... I listened to it rather than read it, so if I'd read it, this wouldn't have been a problem. But the male narrator, when he did the character Ren, he did this... He's an American voice actor, or Canadian, I'm not sure which. North American voice actor. He did for one of the characters a kind of generic Irish, Scottish accent, but it was so bad. It was almost at that point, I almost couldn't listen to it anymore. I thought, if this character is going to be speaking all the time, I can't do it. However, it wasn't, he didn't actually say that much, so that was okay. But, I don't know what I don't think it's even written in the book that this character had a different accent from the others. I don't know why he had to have such a different accent, but it was very annoying. The female narrator, when she did, like a kind of, I think it was Irish, accent, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't too bad. And I did feel a bit cringy when it was the kind of bedroom scenes, shall we say. Some of the talk, it did make me sort of think, it wasn't, it was quite awkward. So, oh, it's a different book cover. So, Quicksilver by Callie Hart. 4 stars probably. I'm already listening to book number 2, so that says it was good. And oh yeah, the other, so what we were watching was it Harlan Coben's Lazarus with Bill Nighy and Sam Claflin. I'm not really a big fan of any of the Harlan Coben adaptations. Again, the other 2 I've watched, the twist is always that the obvious thing seems to be the truth, like the kind of like the obvious character, like the character who's suspicious, who they try to tell you throughout the story isn't actually that suspicious. They were suspicious the whole time, and that was kind of like, it was fine, but it wasn't the best. I only carried on watching it. Me and my sister were saying just last night, we had an episode and a half to go, and we were both like, do you want to keep watching it? And I thought, well, I do love Sam Claflin, and I do love Bill Nighy, so let's just watch it. We've got 1.5 episodes to go. We'll watch it for them. Would I recommend it to other people? Probably not. Unless you're one of the people who loves, I mean, people seem to love Harlan Coben's books, so maybe you'll love it. I didn't. I always hold out for a truly good twist. You know, like the sort of twist that you didn't even realise could be possible until it happens, and then your mind goes back, and all those tiny little insignificant moments all just line up like dominoes being knocked over. That's the sort of twist I like, that sort of one that's just peppered throughout the story. And that so rarely happens, so I would probably give that series a 3 out of 5. 2.53. Okay, so that's all the talk about my knitting and crocheting and what I've been reading and watching. The rest of it's going to be about yarn that's coming into the shop or is in the shop right now. So if that's not something you're interested in, then I will see you next week. But I'll go quite quickly through this. So I've restocked into the shop. I'll do the restock first. I've restocked some Falling Leaves. This is on the merino, superwash merino nylon 4-ply. That's restocked in the shop. And I've restocked Pumpkin Spice on the DK sock, which is the same base as the 4-ply sock, but DK. So there's some, I do love Pumpkin Spice. I need to knit some more Pumpkin Spice socks, because my Pumpkin Spice socks are worn through. Oh, it's not a restock, but it is a colour that's already in the shop. Where's the other one gone? Let's find what other it is. So I've got Messy on the DK sock. I'll show you one at a time because it's kind of hard to. So that's Messy. I do love that colour. I can't believe I haven't knit with this colour yet. They're all the restocks, I think. Yeah. So then I've got the colours that have come into the shop. I'll show you quickly, because you'll have already seen them on Instagram if you follow me there. So last week, I put mulled wine in the shop as my first Christmas colour of the year. It's such a lovely colour. Just where those little pops of that purple and things come from. I don't know in this lighting if you can even really see it. In real life, it's so much more beautiful than the pictures. Some colours like purples and reds, because the way they just pick up the light, can be a real pain. Like, I don't even know if you can see that like purple hint that comes through. So these are already in the shop, the ones I'm showing you. So all of these currently are available to purchase. There's the Oh Christmas Tree sets. This is a super size set, so you get the full 100 gram skein, and then you get 5 20 gram skeins. So in one of these sets, you have 800 meters of yarn. Oh, that's on the screen, huh? I thought I had like a really long strand of white hair on me. These are all unique minis. They're not available anywhere else, these minis. I love that red. That reddy brown. I think I might bring that to the shop next year because that's so pretty. Yeah. Oh yeah. Then there are the Colour Pop sets, 5 20 gram minis. You get the pink. There's this blue, which this looks darker than it actually is. This is, I don't know if there's any way to, that's closer to what it looks like right now. That's closer than when it's here, and it looks really dark blue. A bold yellow, a black. This is a pretty solid black. It's as solid as I'm going to be able to get a black. And then there's the green. So these ones I sort of envisioned as they're being really good for colour work, or if you just, when you're knitting with variegated yarns especially, often it's nice to pop in some contrast colours for like heels, toes and cuffs, and these would be perfect just to have sitting in your stash ready to, because they cover such a range of colours, don't they? Oh yeah, and then what was added to the shop this morning are these little one-of-a-kind sock sets. So you get this speckled yarn, all over speckled, and you'll either get the blue and pink mini, or there's this set which is slightly less speckled. The speckling is a bit more sparse, and you get this like lighter purple or dark purple. These ones are not solid minis, the other ones are solid. These ones do have a lot of tonality to them. So these are in the shop this morning, which is Monday, so when you watch this Tuesday, they're already in the shop. I want to make sure I go through this properly. Oh, and there was also, what was added last week was this one, which is Bonfire Night. So, I've got some new Christmas colours. Let me just get them organised. I'll show you on the minis first. Well, they're not minis, they're 50 grams. So, I've dyed Hollyberry. I've got 4 50-gram minis available for this colour and 2 100-gram skeins. Let me show you in the 100 grams. Let me give you a close-up of these speckles because I am very proud of myself for how well some of these speckles hit the yarn. I don't know if it's even focusing properly, but so Hollyberry will be in the shop this coming week. Then we have Vintage Christmas, which is currently only available, will only be available at the moment on the 50-gram skeins. So the Vintage Christmas is blues and pinks and greens and red and purple. I got this idea from a set of vintage Christmas postcards. And then the next colour, which will also be coming to the shop this week, is this one, which is Mistletoe and Wine. Oh, I love that, where the green and purple sit together. I have been dyeing up, but I haven't finished them all yet. With each of the colours I dyed for the Christmas one, I've been dyeing up like a mini that's felt kind of appropriate with the colour. So at the moment we've got these two, so there'll be some, I think I'll call them like the Christmas contrasts or something. There'll be a little mini set that will be available, that have been dyed up with the these colours in mind. They're not the colour of the yarn, like I dyed this one at the same time I dyed Hollyberry, because it just felt, I don't know, it felt right for some reason. And then I dyed this one when I dyed that one. Again, I don't know why, it just felt like the right sort of colour to go with it. And this is Mistletoe and Wine on the 50 grams. I do really love this colour. I really want to knit something in this. I think I love a hat in that colour. My sister loves the Hollyberry. That's her favourite one. Depending on how my week goes, because I've got quite a lot of things I've got to be doing, like restocking, I will also be looking at dyeing up some Baby It's Cold Outside, and I'm thinking I'm going to do that one on the sparkle base, because that just feels right for that one. Oh, and I want to quickly go in, because next month in December, probably in like, I'm going to dye up the tester this week, the like sample colour. I'm going to be launching the first of the club for next year. So it'll be listed in December, but it won't be sent out to customers until January. And it'll be the first of the Don't Judge a Book by its cover sock sets. Socks. I think it'll just be, I'm not sure, I think it'll just be a one skein. It'll be like a 50 or 100 gram skein you can get, I think, for this one. I don't want to make it, other clubs I've made too complicated by having too many options. I'm going to have 100 or 50 grams. I might let you pick sparkle or plain, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll say more once I've dyed up the colour. So the first one is going to be this book, Darkest Mercy by Melissa Marr. I'll give you a close-up of that. So this is going to be the colour inspiration. So as you can imagine, it's going to be dark purples with some maybe black, peach, golden, like a yellow, orange, pink. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Melissa Marr's books, her covers are just some of the most beautiful ones around. Look at that. So that will be the first book, which this will be the, it'll be available to order from December, and it'll be sent out in January. And that is everything, I think. So thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far, I really appreciate it, and I will see you again next week.